here. I'm Tim Fortescue, an IFS trained practitioner. Really resonate with the spirituality of IFS. It's been a game changer for me, just the model in general, and I'm so grateful to be able to share this with others. And welcome. Thanks so much for joining. You can find more about me on my website, faithfullygrowing.com, and you can always reach out to via email if it's helpful. Just simply email me at tim@faithfullygrowing.com. As we go throughout the time today, as usual, type your questions in the chat. If you're watching a recording, go ahead and engage with the chat there too, and I'll do my best to either engage with you there or bring your question back next week. I try to do this each week on Tuesdays at the same time, which is 9 a.m. Central here in the US. Also do it at 9:30 on Insight Timer, if that is a platform that you engage with, and if you prefer to join me there, or maybe you want to join me twice. It's the same thing each time, but the questions at the end are always different depending on who joins. And so grateful that you're here. And before I jump into the content today, just want to say, as we approach the year end, if the content here on this channel and the content that I put out through Faithfully Growing has been helpful to you, I have a nonprofit aspect of my practice, and so always like to put a plug in. If you would like to make a donation, you can do that at faithfullygrowing.com and just click the donate button. Or you can go to faithfullygrowing.com/donate. And that helps me keep IFS accessible to everyone. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can also click that thank button, or there is a way to donate here if that's easier for you. But it's best if you want to just go to faithfullygrowing.com and click donate there. But so grateful for this community. And if you're not able to make a donation, keep showing up. So glad that you're here. Okay, let's look at our content for a bit. We're going to talk about building resilience with our parts today, and then I'll lead you in a check-in. And resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from things like stress and adversity. And in IFS, resilience involves understanding and balancing the roles of our parts and being resilient with them. In the model, we have the 8 C's of self-leadership. And I would say being resilient takes a lot of courage. And practitioners, when we learn the model, we're encouraged to be aware. There are 5 P's that we're encouraged to be aware of. And I'm using my cheat sheet here. If you're interested in a cheat sheet, if you're a practitioner, send me an email. And I have something that I use in my sessions that I refer to often. And you can do that at tim@faithfullygrowing.com. But the 5 P's are patience, perspective, persistence, presence, and playfulness. And let me just tell you the 8 C's too while I'm doing that. Good morning. I believe that is Darlene. If I'm wrong, let me know there. The 8 C's are curiosity, calm, confidence, compassion, clarity, creativity, courage, and connectedness. But when we are being resilient and checking in with our parts and kind of letting them know they can be resilient too, it takes a lot of persistence. And sometimes that is hard. So maybe it's good to keep in mind courage and persistence today as those qualities that we can attune to know that we have self-energy, or at least a critical mass to move forward. And our intention in IFS is to work with our parts to strengthen that resilience. And as we strengthen the resilience, we create greater inner harmony. But stress can trigger certain parts. Maybe it is those protectors that jump in, that may step in with strategies like overworking managers, Hi, Lynn. Thanks so much for letting me know that, and I'll try to remember that each time. But so glad that you're here. But maybe we notice when we're stressed, those protectors step in. And it may be more managers that are making lists and strategies like overworking, and you got to do this and this and this to help things get better. Or maybe it's numbing. And numbing is often those firefighters that are jumping in just to shut down and react to that stress and the overwhelm that often comes from those managers. And withdrawing, maybe that's another way protectors coming in, is the same way. Or maybe it's those more vulnerable inner child parts that may get overwhelmed. And often the overwhelm there, those protectors, when we go deep into those wounded parts that often just want to be held and loved, is their intention, it can cause some stress on our system, particularly with those protectors. And some parts may more naturally support resilience by offering strength, perspective, or calm. They may have more of those gifts of self readily available at times. But some may not, and building resilience involves connecting with our parts, understanding their needs, and fostering collaboration. And so I encourage you to be aware of that and keep in mind that the persistence, and maybe it's you just as resilience if you keep showing up to things like this or doing your work even though you may not understand it all. And that takes courage too. So I'm going to lead us in our meditation to check in around building resilience with our parts, and just keep that in mind, that it's courageous of you to even be here, and just keep showing up and being persistent, and let your parts that are here know that you see that they're doing that too. So let's take a moment and settle in and get comfortable. And let your body relax as you take a few deep breaths. And our intention here is to help you connect with your parts, especially those that play a role in your resilience. And together and as a community, we'll explore how these parts show up in times of stress and strength, and how you can support them with compassion and care. And as you breathe, gently bring your attention to your body. Okay, there we go. I think I'm back now. I do these lives on my phone, and there was a call coming in. So let me know if you can hear me now, but I believe we're good. And thanks for your patience and any grace you can give there. Just kind of settle back in. Notice your breath. Just go back in. And if you can, imagine a warm, steady light radiating from the center of your chest. And this light represents yourself, the part of you, the all of you that is calm, curious, compassionate, courageous, persistent. And allow this light to gently expand with each breath, creating a sense of safety and openness within you. And from this grounded place, gently invite the parts of you that respond to stress or adversity to step forward. You might ask, which parts of me feels most stressed or burdened right now. And just pause for a moment and notice what arises. It might come as an image, a sensation, or a thought. Whatever shows up, welcome it without judgment if you can. See if you can extend, excuse me, just a little bit of curiosity and maybe ask the part that is showing up. What are you feeling right now? And check in and see how you're feeling toward the part. If it's a constrictedness more than an openness, it's likely another part coming in, and just let that part know that you can have a chance at another time too to have your attention, and maybe let it know when. See if it could soften back for now and just let us be curious about this part that we're spending time with in this meditation. Then turn back and maybe ask another question. What are you trying to do for me? Just listen, observe. Maybe ask, what do you need from me? Take some time to respond if that seems right, feels appropriate. If nothing arises, that's okay. Simply sit with the intention of being present for any part that may need your attention. When it feels complete with that part, thank it for its courage, for as much or as little as it shared. Let it know that it belongs. It's not alone. And see if that part could soften back and just witness for a bit. Then gently invite another part forward. The one that helps you feel strong, resilient, that keeps you showing up, because it brings gifts too. Maybe help to ask, which part of me helps me stay grounded and capable? Notice how this part feels in your body. Maybe it's a warmth, stability, or even a sense of calm. It could be a lot of self in this part, but likely are parts that even keep us showing up. They have some burdens, they're younger. And it's good to remind them that they're a part of this team too, and they're not alone. And just like we did with the first part, take a moment to acknowledge this part and ask it the same 3 questions. What's your role in helping me? Maybe change the question up just a bit and see how this part's responding to the idea that it's not alone. It brings the gift of a lot of calmness, maybe, a lot of persistence and courage, but it's not alone. And see if it knows who you are. And what does it want you to know about resilience? Check in and see how you can support it as it continues to be a part of this inner team. let it know that you're the coach or you're facilitating here, and it doesn't have to bear all the responsibility. And thank that part for its courage in showing up and being seen. And now take some time to imagine both parts, the one carrying stress and the one offering resilience. Just imagine them sitting with you in this safe space. And we're not going to be much longer. Let your system and your parts know that. But let them know they're both welcome and valued. That part that carries stress, that part that carries resilience. Likely the part carrying stress, firefighter, more reactive to that resilient part that keeps you showing up, that may be more like a manager. But don't let me impose any of that on you. Trust your system. And if it feels right, thank them for their efforts. Let the stress part know you see its burden and are here to support it. Let the resilient part know you appreciate its strength and guidance. Take a moment just to notice if there's a shift in how these parts feel or how they relate to each other. And there's no right or wrong way to experience this. Just see what you notice with as much openness and connection as you can. And allow your self-energy, your calm, compassionate presence to radiate toward these parts, offering reassurance that you're here to lead and care for them. And as we prepare to close, just take another deep breath in, feeling the connection between you and your parts. And with each exhale, release any tension or judgment. And just send another round of gratitude to your whole internal system, that internal family that makes us who we are. But they don't have to work so hard. And we want to help them know what is their best fit in this system. Then when you're ready, bring your attention back to where you are. You can open your eyes if they were closed. And just take a moment to acknowledge the work you've done here, the care you've shown your parts, and the resilience you're cultivating within yourself. But thank you so much for this meditation, for joining me. And just hope you can carry that sense of connection and balance with you as you move through your day. Thank you. I'll pause for a bit if you have questions. If you're watching a recording, put your questions in too, and I'll engage with those or bring them up at the next live. And I won't be live next week because it's the week of Christmas here in the U.S., but I do plan to be back after that. And so be on the lookout there. Okay, well, thank you all for showing up. If you have the capacity to donate, if this has been helpful for you, you can go faithfullygrowing.com/donate. And I have a nonprofit aspect of my practice that helps me keep IFS accessible to all. And then I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, and let's see. Yeah, we'll skip that one. Sometimes the trolls get in, huh? And Diane, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep calling you Diane, Darlene. Lynn, this was helpful to detangle and bring attention to resilient parts that often are unnoticed. And so, yeah, thank you so much for that feedback. And yeah, so grateful for you showing up. And yeah, reach out if you need to. And I will look forward to seeing you all on the next live. And take good care until then. And take care of your parts. Take care.